Well, good morning. I finally have a moment to sit down and film something. I just want to go straight into it. I don't want to do all the lollygagging, the intros, or whatever. I'm currently in a space where I have had my business for a whole year. I've had my online business for about 5 years. And those two businesses are so different. Though I teach dancing either in person or online, what is required for both of them are completely different. And I've reached a point where I've grown so much that I need to start reeling everybody back in and kind of remembering why we're doing everything that we do. So I decided to take it upon myself to like seek help. Like I realized that everything I had learned all the way up until last year or all the way up until today, I had used all that information. And some of it I can reuse, but for the most part, I feel like pretty comfortable in what I knew, but so much trouble is coming my way. So that being uncomfortable again is coming back into my life where I'm learning like new ways to do everything we're doing: business, mothering, teaching, being a friend, being a partner, everything and above, right? My life is growing and I need help. So I went ahead and one of these amazing dancers that I found because she took my online class. She's a Polynesian, wonderful, beautiful indigenous woman. Her name is Clarinda. And one of her duties in life and one of her kuleana is to teach about business, and this title of the lecture that she was giving out to everybody was called The Ceremony of Business: Building Profitable Businesses with Indigenous Women. Now, what I'm reading about is how to conduct my business in a way that is actually more natural to me. She is Fijian. I think she said she had Samoan roots as well. She's currently living in Hawaii and she danced Oritaiti. Okay, perfect. That we're all in the same path, right? So her mana'o about how to run her business is very relatable to me because it's the mana'o of our people. It is an indigenous practice. And listening to everything she's saying has been so amazing. Now, I don't want to give away all her secrets, but I want to highlight a few things that I've been just going over. And it's beautiful to see someone else like put together all the thoughts that I've been having in a way that I can actually understand. Because I'm not like a scholar in the way of traditional American schooling. Like, I'm very much like, I need to dance it out. I need to go work in the fields. I need to be in that space for things to really like, comprehend in this little brain of mine. So, anyway, business with Indigenous women, ceremony, currency, community, and responsibilities. What does this mean? These some of the notes I took is that for business, your business can be a ceremony. It can be an organized way of observing and engaging and having some sort of relationship with people. That's what a ceremony is. So why can't our business be the same way? Get the currency. What is the currency of your business, right? Is it just a fiscal transaction? I don't know if that was the right way to say that. Or can currency be relationship? Can currency be longevity? Can currency be, that stuff? One of the questions that I asked myself is, what is ceremony to me and how has ceremony impacted my life? When I thought about ceremony, I thought about, as a Polynesian woman, the obvious is like Gava ceremony, all the ceremonies and traditions and customs and protocol that comes with funerals, that comes with weddings, that comes with family gatherings. Going to Tahiti, the things that we do before we dance, the offerings we make, once we're done with our costumes, what we do with our costumes afterwards, like everything in Polynesia is a ceremony, right? So, of course, my business is innately a ceremony because I'm a dancer, I'm a dance teacher, I have a community practice. So all of the things that she's saying makes total sense to me because it's innately already in my business. Now, if I was running Walmart, how do I make Walmart a ceremonial situation? I don't know that answer, but I'm just trying to show you like where I'm at. The other things was community. When you have a community, you have a witness to validate what you are selling as the business person. Or in ceremony, you have community and you need a witness. So the examples that she gave was like you have a witness in marriage, you have a witness in execution, like all the above historically. You have a witness to validate this experience. And it's a powerful place to be when you have a community with a greater understanding. Like, we can all agree right here 1 + 1 is 2. We all have that collective understanding that 1 + 1 is 2. How awesome is that? That's powerful. Obviously, that's a simple act. Here's another one. We all have the great understanding to be a good person. We all want to be a good person, right? These are very vague ways to be on a mutual understanding, but you kind of get the idea. And what I do at Fale Polynesia, our mutual understanding is that what we get to do in this building is a cultural practice. It is a practice in a culture that is not mine. So I have this responsibility, the Kuleana, to take care of that and to learn it at the best of my openness and the best of my ability, because that's what I want in Fale. So going over these questions that she's asking and the way she's explaining each category under the category of community, I wrote, I think I have this. I have a sense of working together. I have a diverse set of students. It stands out to me because I have this and I've had it my entire life. I've been part of a dance studio with such a unique difference of people. I've been in the dance community around the world. I've gone to Japan, I've gone to Mexico, I've gone to Europe, and all those spaces, we all came together because we all dance. So I have community, and that was really cool to kind of like see through someone else's explanation on how to look at it. The last pillar, and I haven't gotten through the whole lecture, so I couldn't even tell you what's after this, but is responsibility. Every role has a purpose. Accept your role with great responsibility. I want to tell you a story. So I recently was in Hawaii and I went to go see some of our friends at another studio, and she had asked me to like teach class, guide class, and usually when I come into town, I'll stop in there and guide class for the day, and she wanted to work on aparima. For those that may not know, aparima is like your slower oritaiti. It is accompanied by string instruments and lyrics, is kind of the way that I interpret it, because your aparima could actually be fast or slow. So I identify it by the use of lyrics and string instruments. Anyway, she asked, like, how can I get my dancers to like emote in their aparima and like feel and be present in their aparima? And I thought to myself, my responsibility in this world that I think I've been given is to encourage dancers to be, full and whole. I think my responsibility in this current time of my life is to guide dancers to be whole. And the reason why I say that is because I feel confident and whole in my dancing. I get challenges presented to me, but nonetheless, I feel like I can take the challenge. Like, I feel so responsible for dance. I feel blessed and privileged to dance, and I have no limitations in that space. And I want to give other dancers that understanding of like how far we can go and all the things that we can do in dance. Anyway, she told me how to get our dancers to emote. And one of the things I said was, you have to really like face your own demons in order to truly understand your dance. What I mean by that is, because dance is such a prayer, it is such a space of emotion, that if in your regular daily life you're holding back all these emotions or you're bottling up things, when it comes to dance, it could do two things. It could either let it all the way out and you're like, all these things you're holding on to that are hurting you in your life, when you start dancing, all these things can start to flutter away. Or you keep holding it, and while you dance, you keep holding it, and then you're constantly feeling empty, or you're constantly feeling like, why doesn't this feel good? What's going on in my body? Why is my dance teacher telling me to feel sad, and I'm sitting here super uncomfortable with confronting some sort of sad emotion? Or sometimes I get dancers that don't know how to be like happy on stage. Like, they're happy on the inside, but they don't have the willingness or the courage to be happy on the outside where other people can see it, right? So with that said, I told them that experience. I told them how you have to confront your own demons. And once you've confronted your own demons, everything that happens in the dance studio or on the dance floor and the stage becomes a lot more open, because now you've opened up your heart, which is inside of your body, and everything you do in dance starts with your heart and then it pulls out of your body, right? It's body language. If you go meet somebody who's super shy and really uncomfortable and insecure about themselves, they might talk like this. When you go talk to somebody with, positive energy and mana and willingness, they talk like this. Mind you, I didn't say confidence. I said willingness. I said good mana. I said openness. Because your confidence is going to grow through the openness. That's going to come first. Okay. The other thing I told these dancers was that you have to accept your responsibility as a dancer. excuse me, what's my responsibility as a dancer? I just show up to class, once or twice a week and I do this for fun. No. We need to be more mindful and more responsible, and our dance teachers need to remind us that this is a cultural practice and we have to take great responsibility for it. Example, if I'm a math teacher and all day I just teach you how to dance, well, I'm not taking responsibility as a math teacher. If I'm your math teacher and I spend all day doing one equation that everybody got the answer to the first time, but I'm too lazy to continue to teach you more, then that's not my responsibility. If I'm a mother and I fully neglect my child and her needs, then I'm not responsible for my child. I'm not accepting my role in this life with great responsibility. As a dancer, it is not 5, 6, 7, 8 that is your responsibility. It's not which entrance and exit is your responsibility. Yes, that's the micro responsibility, but the max responsibility is to learn with openness, learn the culture, learn the language, have respect, have a openness to different creative minds, to different manaos, to different techniques, and to really divulge into the cultural aspects of what this dance creates. Now, we do oritaiti, hula, siva samoa. Innately, in everything you do, it is a cultural practice. Just simply learning an ami is a cultural practice, but how can I form that ami into something greater? When I go and write a story about the waves in the ocean and the moana and the powerful seas, my big ami becomes this huge, tsunami. Right now I'm giving purpose to 2 things: that story, and then I use a basic step and I give it that purpose. That's having responsibility in how to think, how to act, how to move, all the above. So I wrote, in ceremony, you need so much support. In business, we need the same. I am here to support my students, and my students are here to support me. My parents are here to support me. How can we think about the roles? You have to be vulnerable enough to ask for help. That was really encouraging for me, because I think in the Western world, there's this sense of service. It's a service, it's a service, it's a service. But I don't really believe that me teaching dance is a service to you. I believe that it is my kuleana in this world, and if you would like to be a part of this community, then you can. But I don't think that you paying for my dance class is a service. I think it's a privilege, personally. And money isn't the only way to give back. That was something I needed to learn as well, because I deal with groups of people who have different upbringings than me, and I think it's a beautiful thing, because I get to learn about so many different, even cultural norms. If I have Asian parents, I have Balangi parents, I have Miko parents, I get all the kinds. And so we all kind of have to learn how to understand each other. Their responsibility is to understand, I'm walking into a Polynesian space. How can I be the most respectful and the most responsive and the most present in this Polynesian space, being that I'm not, right? And then when I go and talk to these people, I have to be mindful, they don't understand what kuleana is through a Polynesian mind. They understand what responsibility is through where they grew up, right? So I've been struggling a lot with knowing how to communicate and continue my community without being some sort of dictator and being you have to think like a Polynesian. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that in this space, to truly understand what I'm trying to say to you, I need you to understand these values of Polynesia. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just having a beautiful coming to reality moment where I was a certain business owner and a certain dancer and a certain dance teacher at different points of my life, and I love the fact that I'm watching myself grow, because I'm oh my god, I would just never do this. For example, when I first started teaching workshops or public workshops, I was maybe, I don't even know if I was in high school yet. I don't think I was. I think I was already out of high school. I think I started teaching public workshops after I started winning more and I was out of high school and stuff like that. But I would I would promote it, I would teach it, I would whatever, very Western mentality. I need to end on an hour. I need to end in 1 hour. I need to end in 1 hour. And it's I need to get everybody out of this class right on time because I don't want any parents to be mad at me. Now I kind of think to myself Well, if I have 30 more minutes of wisdom and, valuable lessons to teach these students and they want to stay for 30 more minutes, I'm going to give that option instead of freaking out that I need to please all of these, clients or buyers of my class and stick to everything perfectly. No, because you can't put a timeline to things that, when they're passionate or when they're important, you have to be open to like the unorganized version of that. I hope that makes sense. And what I'm trying to say is like this Western, modern world idea that everything has to be like so perfect, But if I were to go to, for example, like Target, this like really well-oiled machine, I'd assume, I would get upset if people were not on time. But if I were to go to a small family-owned business and things were a little bit out of line, I would be like, oh, well, like there's probably half the staff that they actually need because half of it's probably their family. Like having compassion in this business world is super important, but I was moving and grooving and acting as if no one was ever going to give me compassion. I learned, though, that people will give compassion. Moving on to my next point, I just want to spitfire this because I don't want to edit it. One of the things that was talking about in here was to find your community and weed out the people that don't support you. And by doing it very naturally, saying, hey, I'm going to wear the color blue today. Does anybody want to wear the color blue? Oh, you don't? No problem. All good. Like, that's how you do it. It's not supposed to be a fight. It's not supposed to be something dramatic. It's like, oh, you just recognize that person is not in alignment with you and they don't have to be in your life. Go ahead and grieve that moment momentarily. I'm kind of copying the words that Clarinda said. Go ahead and grieve that moment and then jump back into the things you got to do. And boy, did I live that. I lived that exact thing so many times. Having a dance studio means that you will lose people, you will gain people every single day. Like, it's something that I had to learn how to have a little bit thicker skin towards. But what changed my mind was like, cat's out of the bag. I left one of my my in-laws dance studio and it wasn't well. And everybody that's in that dance studio knows like the drama behind it, except I don't know if they know the whole story or my story or whatever, but nonetheless, I left that studio because it wasn't aligning with me. So many things inside of the studio, about it, for it, where it was going, was not where I belonged. And I knew that so deep down. And I'm so grateful to have had the support system that also felt that. And we left together. And that's what is important about community. And that's also what's hard about community is sometimes you start with a certain community and you realize that they're not for you anymore. And that's okay. And it's okay to grieve it. Like I still grieve that breakup because it was really hard and it was really ugly. And I got really hurt in a lot of ways. I got shamed. I got talked about in ways that were so untrue about me. Like my entire character was defamed by some people. And it was such an interesting thing to go through because all I wanted to do was find my purpose, my community, my kuleana, my relationships. I just wanted to make ceremony in my life. And, going through this whole lecture, I'll drop the links and totally, promote this wonderful, amazing Indigenous woman. I needed to find more ceremony in my life and I realized it wasn't going to happen there. And so I left. And it was like so encouraging to listen to Clarinda talk about how, it's okay to clean house is kind of how she said it. Because you need your business to be a safe space for you. And I am in the process of trying to create like this constant safe space first for myself, my family, my daughter, and then my students. And I think that's another thing I'm learning because I am a child of group leaders, which means I've experienced like what it's like to be a group leader's child. And some of it was positive and some of it wasn't great overall. Obviously, it worked out for me because I'm just living the exact same life. And I know it's right for me. It's not like I'm living my parents' dream. No, I'm living my dream. And my parents are super excited because I'm doing something just like them. But where was I going with that? I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel motivated. I'm home alone. And so I finally have some clarity. And I want to talk about where I want to go next because I talked about where I was going, what I was doing, how I was doing it. I've always been sharing my dance life journey as a dancer and now as a business owner, as a studio owner, as a leader, as a director. I don't want to stop my natural vulnerability to share with you, because I know, and I talk about it, like I'll go meet group leaders in our private conversations and we have all the exact same experiences, but I know that there's other leaders out there that are like craving somebody to relate with them. And so I just want to talk about it. And I'm craving to relate with people. I'm craving to share. I'm craving to talk and be, unfiltered and be myself. I saw this other thing that it was saying, like, you're constantly afraid to be yourself. And like, how can you live on this earth and not live? And I have to tell myself that. Like, I think naturally I'm very outgoing and I live my life, but I have my insecurities where I start to like funnel back into a little tunnel and I'm like, oh, I suck at life. Like, everybody hates me. I'm ugly. I suck as a dancer. My choreography's shit. Like, I have my freaking spirals, but nonetheless, I think naturally I'm supposed to be sharing. I think that's what my Kuleana is in this life. I don't mean to like overuse that word, like in a way, but I really believe that this is my responsibility. It's to share. It's to be completely 100% myself. And I have to start listening to people who respond to me positively. Ooh, last thing. I had a dancer the other day tell me, she was like really nervous about competing. And she was like, and I was like, why? What are you nervous about? Are you nervous about, the stage, the costume, the choreography, whatever? She goes, no, I'm nervous about letting people down. And I was like, that's so random. Like, why is your dance journey gonna let somebody else down? And I had to tell her, like, nobody is concerned about how well or how bad you do. We are all in support of you, and we understand that you need to do certain things to, succeed or to move forward, and that's doing competition. Even if you lose, you have to do those things so that you know where to go next. That's the way life goes. And you're not disappointing anybody. If anything, you are encouraging all of us to be as courageous as you, And I had to tell her that stuff. And I thought to myself, like, well, damn, I could say that to myself. Like, I'm not letting anybody down by living my truest life, by guiding my business and my studio and my students in the direction that I want to. And if they are also curious and passionate about that direction, then to come with me through that wave. But if they need to go elsewhere, then they need to go elsewhere. Like, I am in the process of like finding my community and discovering what my role is in that community and how I can maximize it and be authentically that person and have those relationships. Anyway, that's that. Thank you for a little update. I just needed to get that off my chest. Small things. I think I'm doing some workshops in Orange County on November 8th. You'll see it. And if you don't, then I decided not to do it. Fresno and OC Fale studio enrollments will be going out soon. I just need to figure it out. I need to figure out how to organize all of this enrollment stuff, because it does get out of hand. And once I figure that out, you'll know. Just be patient with me. And I'm going to continue to live in my non-Western Indigenous woman ideology. And if you'd like to be part of that, then please do. I don't know if I worded that right, but you know what I mean. Anyway, shouts to Clarinda. You're the best.